Every single night, while your body slows down and your mind drifts toward rest, your kidneys stay wide awake. They continue filtering your blood, balancing fluids, clearing waste, and repairing microscopic damage caused by everything you ate, drank, and experienced during the day. Most people never think about this nighttime work. They assume sleep is only about the brain. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If your kidneys are under stress, your sleep quality quietly suffers. You wake up tired. You toss and turn. You feel restless at night. You may even wake up multiple times to use the bathroom. And the worst part is, many people think this is just aging. It's not. It's often a sign that your kidneys are struggling to recover at night, when they are supposed to heal the most. This is where most health advice gets it wrong. People focus on what to avoid at night: less salt, less sugar, less fluid. But they rarely talk about what your kidneys actually need in the evening to repair themselves and help your nervous system relax. That missing piece is gentle, slow-digesting nutrition that supports blood sugar, stability, mineral balance, and kidney-friendly protein without overload. And that's why beans matter far more than most people realize. Not the heavy processed beans soaked in salt and preservatives. Not large bowls that spike digestion, but specific beans, prepared the right way, eaten in the right amount, at the right time. When chosen carefully, beans at night can do something remarkable. They can calm the nervous system. They can stabilize blood sugar through the night. They can reduce nighttime stress hormones. And most importantly, they can support kidney repair instead of overworking them. This may sound surprising because many people have been told to avoid beans altogether, especially if they are worried about digestion or kidney health. But that advice ignores one critical detail. Beans are not all the same. Different beans behave very differently inside your body, especially at night. Some ferment too aggressively and cause bloating. Others digest slowly and feed beneficial gut bacteria that produce calming compounds. Some are high in potassium in forms that stress damaged kidneys. Others contain potassium bound with fiber that releases gently and safely. When you understand this difference, everything changes. The people who sleep deeply, wake up refreshed, and protect their kidneys long-term are not avoiding food at night. They are choosing the right foods. And in many traditional cultures, small portions of beans have been used in the evening for centuries for exactly this reason. They were never meant to be heavy meals. They were meant to support recovery. Tonight, you're going to learn which beans do that best and why eating them earlier in the evening, not right before bed, makes all the difference. But before we get into the list, you need to understand why nighttime kidney support matters so much. During sleep, your kidneys shift into repair mode. Blood pressure drops. Inflammation markers begin to fall. Hormones that regulate fluid balance stabilize. But if your blood sugar crashes at night or spikes from the wrong foods, stress hormones like cortisol rise. That rise signals your kidneys to retain fluid and sodium, which increases nighttime urination and disrupts deep sleep. This is why so many people wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning feeling restless, thirsty, or anxious. It's not just your bladder. It's your kidneys reacting to metabolic stress. The right beans help prevent this by providing slow, steady energy and key minerals like magnesium that relax blood vessels and calm nerve signals. They also contain plant proteins that repair tissue without overwhelming kidney filtration, unlike heavy animal proteins eaten late in the day. And here's the contrast most people miss. When you eat refined carbs or sugary snacks at night, your blood sugar rises quickly and crashes hard. When you eat heavy meats, your kidneys have to work harder to clear nitrogen waste. But when you eat the right beans, in small portions, digestion slows, blood sugar stays stable, and kidney workload stays gentle. That balance is what leads to deeper sleep and better morning energy. This isn't about dieting or restriction, it's about strategic nourishment. And the first bean on this list earns its place not because it's trendy, but because it quietly supports everything your body needs at night. Lentils. Lentils are one of the most kidney-friendly legumes you can eat in the evening when prepared simply and eaten in modest portions. They are rich in soluble fiber, which slows digestion and prevents nighttime blood sugar swings. They also provide plant-based protein that breaks down gradually, producing less metabolic waste for your kidneys to filter while you sleep. What makes lentils especially powerful at night is their magnesium content. Magnesium helps relax muscles, calm nerve signals, and support the release of melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's time to sleep. Many people with poor sleep are unknowingly deficient in magnesium, and their kidneys feel the strain because magnesium also helps regulate fluid balance. Lentils provide this mineral in a form that's absorbed slowly and safely. Another overlooked benefit is how lentils feed beneficial gut bacteria. These bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation and send calming signals to the brain through the gut-brain axis. This is one reason people often feel more relaxed and settled after eating lentils compared to refined foods. The key is preparation. Lentils should be soaked and cooked thoroughly, then eaten earlier in the evening, ideally 3 to 4 hours before bed. A small bowl, paired with vegetables and a drizzle of olive oil, is enough. Overeating defeats the purpose. Used correctly, lentils don't cause heaviness. They create stability. They help your kidneys filter calmly, your nerves relax naturally, and your sleep deepen without forcing your body into stress mode. And that's exactly what nighttime nutrition should do. Most people assume that if a food is good for the kidneys, it must also be bland, restrictive, or unsatisfying. That belief is one of the reasons so many nighttime eating habits fail. The second bean on this list proves that kidney support and comfort can exist together, especially in the evening when your body is most sensitive. Chickpeas have been eaten for centuries as a calming, grounding food, often later in the day because of how gently they digest and how steadily they release energy. What makes chickpeas especially valuable at night is their unique balance of fiber, protein, and complex carbohydrates. This balance prevents the sharp blood sugar rises and crashes that trigger nighttime stress responses. When blood sugar stays steady, your adrenal glands remain calm, cortisol stays low, and your kidneys are not forced into fluid retention mode. That alone can reduce nighttime bathroom trips and help you stay asleep longer. Chickpeas are also a quiet source of vitamin B6, a nutrient involved in the production of serotonin and melatonin. Without enough B6, your body struggles to convert calming neurotransmitters into sleep signals. Many people with restless sleep are unknowingly low in this vitamin, and their kidneys feel the consequences because poor sleep increases inflammation and blood pressure. Chickpeas help close that loop gently without stimulating the nervous system. Another reason chickpeas work well at night is their potassium to fiber ratio. Potassium on its own can be problematic for sensitive kidneys, but when it is bound within fiber-rich foods, it releases slowly and safely. This slow release supports proper muscle relaxation and blood vessel tone without overwhelming kidney filtration. That is why whole chickpeas behave very differently from potassium. Supplements or processed foods. Preparation matters more than people realize. Chickpeas should always be soaked thoroughly and cooked until soft. This reduces compounds that cause bloating and makes them easier on digestion. Eating them mashed, lightly seasoned, or blended into a simple spread helps the body process them even more gently. The ideal timing is earlier in the evening, not as a late-night snack. A small portion alongside vegetables or whole grains is enough to provide stability without heaviness. When people eat chickpeas this way, they often notice fewer nighttime awakenings, less leg cramping, and more consistent morning energy. That is not a coincidence. It is the result of metabolic calm. The third bean on this list takes kidney support one step further by directly influencing inflammation and fluid balance. Black beans are often overlooked in nighttime nutrition, but when used correctly, they can be one of the most grounding foods you eat all day. Black beans are rich in anthocyanins, the same antioxidant compounds found in blueberries. These compounds help reduce oxidative stress in blood vessels and kidney tissue, which is especially important at night when repair processes are active. Lower oxidative stress means less strain on delicate filtration structures while you sleep. Black beans also contain resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that feeds beneficial gut bacteria and slows glucose absorption. This resistant starch helps prevent nighttime hunger signals that wake you up and keeps insulin levels stable through the night. Stable insulin means your kidneys are not pushed into sodium retention, which reduces swelling and nighttime thirst. Another benefit of black beans is their iron content, which supports oxygen delivery to tissues during repair. When oxygen delivery improves, kidneys can heal more efficiently. This does not mean large portions are necessary. In fact, small amounts are more effective. Overeating black beans late at night can cause digestive discomfort and counteract their benefits. The goal is gentle nourishment, not fullness. Black beans should be cooked thoroughly and paired with herbs rather than heavy spices. A small serving with vegetables or rice earlier in the evening is ideal. Many people notice that when black beans are eaten this way, sleep feels deeper and more restorative. The body is not busy fighting digestion. It is free to repair. The fourth bean on this list surprises many people because it is often associated with comfort food, not kidney support. White beans, including navy beans and cannellini beans, are among the most soothing legumes you can eat at night. They are lower in certain fermentable carbohydrates compared to other beans, which makes them easier on digestion for sensitive individuals. This is important because digestive stress at night activates the sympathetic nervous system, which interferes with kidney repair. White beans provide a steady source of plant protein, without excessive phosphorus load when eaten in moderation. This makes them suitable for people who are cautious about kidney stress, but still need nourishment to prevent nighttime catabolism. They are also a quiet source of calcium and magnesium, minerals that support muscle relaxation and vascular health during sleep. Another advantage of white beans is their mild flavor. This allows them to be prepared simply, without heavy sauces or sodium. Simplicity is a hidden factor in kidney health. The fewer additives your kidneys must process at night, the better they recover. A small bowl of white beans with olive oil and herbs can feel deeply satisfying without overstimulating digestion. People who include white beans in their evening meals often report less nighttime bloating and more consistent sleep patterns. That consistency matters. Kidneys thrive on rhythm. When meals are predictable and gentle, filtration becomes efficient and repair becomes automatic. At this point, you may notice a pattern. The beans that support sleep and kidneys are not about quantity. They are about timing, preparation, and metabolic calm. This brings us to the final bean on the list, the one that ties everything together and explains why nighttime bean choices matter more than daytime ones. But before revealing it, it's important to understand one mistake that cancels all these benefits if ignored. Most people assume that if they simply choose the right foods, the benefits will automatically follow. But there is one mistake that quietly cancels out everything you've just learned. It's not about the type of bean. It's not even about portion size. It's about timing and hydration. Eating even the best kidney-friendly beans too late at night, or without enough fluid earlier in the evening, forces your kidneys to work harder when they should be resting. This is why some people say beans make their sleep worse. It's not the beans. It's the context. When beans are eaten too close to bedtime, digestion competes with repair. Blood flow is diverted to the gut. Waste clearance slows. Fluid balance becomes unstable. The kidneys respond by increasing nighttime urine production, which fragments sleep. But when beans are eaten earlier in the evening, with adequate hydration during the day, the opposite happens. Digestion finishes before sleep. Blood sugar remains stable. Repair signals turn on. The kidneys finally get the quiet environment they need to recover. This is the hidden difference between people who thrive on evening beans and those who struggle with them. The final bean on this list is special because it reinforces this timing principle better than any other. Mung beans. Mung beans have been used for centuries in traditional diets, specifically as an evening food during periods of recovery. They are lighter than most beans, lower in fermentable compounds, and exceptionally gentle on digestion when cooked properly. This makes them ideal for nighttime kidney support. What sets mung beans apart is their amino acid profile. They provide enough protein to prevent overnight muscle breakdown without generating excessive nitrogen waste. This is critical because muscle breakdown during sleep increases kidney workload. By preventing it, mung beans indirectly protect renal function. Mung beans are also rich in magnesium and potassium in balanced amounts that support nerve relaxation and vascular tone without overwhelming filtration. Another overlooked benefit is their cooling effect on the body. Metabolically, mung beans reduce internal heat and inflammation. This helps lower nighttime restlessness and supports deeper stages of sleep. People who wake up feeling overheated or restless often benefit from foods that gently cool metabolic activity. Mung beans do this naturally. Preparation is simple but important. Mung beans should be soaked, cooked until very soft, and eaten in small portions. A simple bowl with vegetables or as a light stew earlier. In the evening works best. Heavy seasoning defeats their purpose. Simplicity allows their calming properties to shine. People who include mung beans regularly notice something subtle but powerful. They fall asleep faster, they wake up less, their mornings feel lighter. This is not a dramatic overnight transformation, it is quiet progress, and quiet progress is exactly how kidney healing works. Now, let's tie everything together. The reason beans can strengthen your kidneys and improve sleep is not because they detox aggressively, it's because they stabilize your internal environment. They reduce spikes, they soften extremes, they create predictability. Kidneys are organs of balance. They thrive when inputs are steady and gentle. Beans, when chosen correctly, provide that steadiness. Contrast this with most nighttime habits. Sugary snacks cause blood sugar crashes. Salty foods cause fluid retention. Heavy proteins increase waist load. Alcohol disrupts hormonal rhythms. All of these force kidneys into stress mode at night. Beans do the opposite. They support calm. They support repair. But only if you respect their role. Small portions, early timing, simple preparation, adequate hydration during the day. This combination is what makes the difference. And this is where many people go wrong. They look for magic foods instead of intelligent patterns. There is no single food that fixes kidneys or sleep. There are only habits that support recovery. Beans are powerful because they fit into that habit framework naturally. One more detail matters. Nighttime eating should never feel heavy. If you feel full, bloated, or sluggish, the portion was too large or the timing too late. The goal is satisfaction, not fullness. A sense of calm, not stimulation. When you get this right, your body tells you. Sleep deepens. Nighttime awakenings decrease. Morning energy improves. Over time, lab markers often follow. Not because you forced change, but because you allowed repair. This is how traditional diets supported longevity without supplements or complicated plans. They worked with the body's rhythms, not against them. Beans at night were never about calories. They were about balance. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this. Strengthening your kidneys and improving your sleep is not about restriction. It's about choosing foods that cooperate with your body's natural nighttime repair process. The right beans do exactly that. They don't demand attention. They don't create stress. They quietly support the organs that keep you alive while you rest. And that quiet support, repeated consistently, is what leads to lasting health. There is one final piece that determines whether all of this actually translates into better sleep and stronger kidneys over time. Consistency. The body does not respond to occasional good choices. It responds to repeated signals. When your kidneys receive the same calm, supportive inputs night after night, they adapt. Filtration becomes more efficient. Fluid balance stabilizes. Inflammation slowly declines. Sleep architecture improves. This is why people who make small, steady changes often see better long-term results than those who chase aggressive fixes. The beans you've learned about are not remedies. They are signals. Signals that tell your body it is safe to slow down, repair, and restore. When you eat the right beans earlier in the evening, in modest portions, you are telling your nervous system that the day is winding down. Blood sugar stays stable, stress hormones fall, the kidneys stop bracing for impact, and begin focusing on maintenance. Over weeks, this changes how you feel in subtle but meaningful ways. Nighttime bathroom trips often decrease. Morning stiffness eases. Energy becomes more even throughout the day. These changes are easy to overlook because they are not dramatic, but they are exactly what long-term kidney protection looks like. It's also important to remember that no food works in isolation. Beans support sleep and kidneys best when paired with simple habits. Drinking enough water earlier in the day, avoiding heavy meals late at night, keeping sodium reasonable, moving your body gently. These habits create an environment where beans can do their job without resistance. When people ignore these basics, they often blame the food instead of the pattern. That's how confusion spreads. The truth is much simpler. Your kidneys are not fragile. They are resilient. They respond quickly when stress is reduced and support is consistent. Beans are one of the most overlooked tools for providing that support at night because they sit at the intersection of nourishment and calm. They don't spike. They don't crash. They don't demand urgent processing. They cooperate. If you've struggled with sleep, fatigue, or kidney concerns, you don't need to overhaul your life. Start with one change. Choose one bean from this list. Prepare it simply. Eat it earlier. In the evening. Pay attention to how your body responds. Let that feedback guide you. Over time, you may notice that sleep feels deeper without effort, that mornings feel clearer, that your body feels less reactive. These are signs that your internal systems are working together again. Health is not built in moments of intensity, it is built in quiet routines that support repair. The right beans, eaten at the right time, are one of those routines. They ask very little of you, but they give your kidneys and nervous system exactly what they need to recover while you rest. That is how real change happens, not overnight, but night after night.